Hi everybody, in this video we're going to learn how to simplify radicals with positive radicands. So, first of all, before we even get started, let's identify our perfect squares because it's helpful when we have those to go ahead and break them down. So I'm actually going to write them over here in the corner, in the bottom corner over here, so that we can keep them on the screen when we go to our final example at the bottom. So here we go. We have a perfect square. And perfect squares, remember, are developed by simply multiplying the number by itself, right? So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25. So we have our perfect squares over here all the way up to 20 squared, which is 400. So now we're ready to go ahead and work out our problem. Okay, so for the first example, we have the square root of 225, all right? That actually is one of our perfect squares. So if you look here, that's one of our perfect squares. So what is the square root of 225? So we're in decimals and we're going to type in the square root of 225. Once again, it's one of our perfect squares. We made that list already. And we would know the answer if we had actually put the number next to it, right? But we didn't. So square root of 225. All right. And the way I got the square root is by clicking on the keyboard, and then the square root is at the bottom next to pi. And that gives me 15. So now I can go back to my problem and type 15 for our answer with the right button, with the right pen rather. So there it goes. The answer is 15. Now let's look at our next example. We have the square root of 300. So the square root of 300 is not on our list of perfect squares. If you see it up here, right? So I see that 300 so 289, and then it skips all the way down to 324. So yeah, it is not one of our perfect squares. However, it is an even number. That means it can be broken down into radicals. And so we're going to separate it into multiple radicals, multiple factors to go ahead and simplify. So we got to think to ourselves, what number goes into 300 evenly, right? It's got to go into 300 evenly. And specifically, what perfect square goes into 300 evenly? All right, so we look at our list, and when we look down our list, I see 100. 100 can go into 300 evenly. 100 can, right? So how many times does 100 goes into 300? Let's see. So 300 divided by 100 is 3. Therefore, this factor can be broken into two factors. So the square root of 100 times the square root of 3. Well, what's the square root of 100? Square root of 100 is 10, the square root of 3. Therefore, our answer is 10 square root of 3. Those are actually being multiplied, so you don't do anything with them. You just keep it as is. This is what we call an exact answer. So you don't want to change it to a decimal or anything. In fact, what we're going to do is follow the directions here and type it in correctly. So we're going to say 10 times square root 3 in parentheses, like so. All right, now let's go to this last example. So in our last example, we are going to find the square root of 39. So you have to think to yourself, like we thought up there, what perfect square goes into 39 evenly? So I go down my list. I know that I got to stop at 36 because 49 is too big. And so I need to check to see if 36, 25, 16, 9, 4, and 1 goes into 39 evenly, okay? So let's go ahead and go to decimals and try it out. So we are going to do 39 divided by 36 to see if that comes out to be a whole number. If it comes out to be a whole number, then we're good to go. Nope, it doesn't. So then we're going to do 39 divided by 25. We're trying to see if 25 goes into 39 evenly. And it doesn't. That's 1.56. Okay, the next perfect square, 39 divided by 16. That's 2.43. And 39 divided by 9. That gives me 4.33. Now, truth be told, we already knew that this wouldn't work, right? So, and let me tell you why we knew this. So we know that 39 has a factor of 3 and 13, right? Because 3 times 13 gives me 39. Neither one of those numbers, right, or have anything to do with a perfect square. So 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and 36. So we already knew this wasn't going to work. All right. So there is no number, there is no perfect square that goes into 39 evenly. So what do we do when that happens? That simply means our answer is already simplified. And so if it's already simplified, we simply do this. Square root of 39, and we leave it as is. All right. So our answer is simply the square root of 39. There's nothing to do there. We can't do anything to it. All right, look out for the next video.